You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation for the busy woman of color who's on her healing journey and just may need a moment to just breathe, pause, and just woosah. Today I'm inviting you to acknowledge those unseen wounds that we all carry, those buried hurts that have shaped all of us. It's like having this injury that you put a sweater on. I don't know. The only way I could think about it is I think of someone like Tina Turner who's been through domestic violence, and you see movies of people, or you've experienced yourself, or you know someone has experienced themselves who will have injuries from their abuser, but they hide it with makeup or clothes. And say, for example, someone has a broken rib and they're just walking around and they're acting like they're fine, but you give them a hug and they wince like, ouch, oh, that hurts. And you ask them if they're okay, but like, oh no, I'm good. But it's emotional wounds that we have that are just like that, where someone may trigger it, or something may trigger it, and you feel it, you experience it, but you keep saying I'm good. It's those unseen wounds that we all carry. And I'm the first one here to say that I'm not here today as an expert or as a guide. I'm here with you as a fellow traveler, navigating through the often murky waters of our past experiences. And before we go any further, I just want you to take a moment, put your left hand on your heart, put your right hand over your left hand, and just breathe. Take a moment just to ground into yourself, knowing that this is a safe space for you to be here. I know this topic may be a little difficult today. I'm feeling it myself. But we're going to breathe together, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, knowing we are safe. We are safe. You are safe. And if any moment in any of this topic today feels triggering or like it's too much, breathe through it, pause it, come back. Listen, talk to a therapist with this conversation. Just do whatever you need to do to honor that inner child that lives within you who may still be struggling with these unseen wounds. Because I know my girl is like, ooh, are we really having this conversation? I'm like, yes, we are. We've all felt the pain, whether it's a heartbreak, a loss, an injury, a trauma you've experienced yourself, or it's ancestral trauma that has been passed down in your DNA. Whatever it is, it could be absolutely anything. And many of us have learned to hide that pain away, to shield it from the world, and sometimes from ourselves. We adopt these strategies to just, if we could just numb the pain, it doesn't exist. If we can act like those old narratives that we've told ourselves or someone else has told us that's still feeling a little bit painful, like a wound, we just act like this never happened. We do that by overworking, using substances, and just pretending like everything's fine. We wear the mask. We put on the makeup and say, I'm okay. Everything's good. Look at me. I'm great. I'm doing amazing. And these are strategies that have worked. They have worked. They have kept us feeling safe. Well, at least they've helped us survive. But surviving isn't thriving. And surviving doesn't always feel good. It's still kind of, because the wound, you still feel the wounds there when you're surviving. You may not see it, but you still feel it. No one else may know it's there, but you know it's there. You feel it deep down. And sometimes when you're trying to numb that pain, that doesn't work. Because numbing the pain isn't healing it. Because it's still there. I wanted us to take this journey today. Not because I have all the answers, because I certainly do not. I don't. But because I believe in the power of shared experiences and in healing that can happen when we are brave and collectively come together to heal. There's such a huge power in this collective healing, and that's a huge reason why this podcast even exists. Is for us to collectively come together and heal. Because I too carry these unseen wounds, like many of you, and I've often found myself fumbling in the dark, trying to find the light switch or find the door, seeking my way out, and feeling like I don't got this. And so I put on the makeup, I put on the mask, I overwork, I turn to wine. I act like things are okay. And they're not. The journey towards healing isn't easy. It's messy AF. It's complicated. And it's okay to feel like you're sometimes lost. I feel lost all the time. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to fall. It's okay to feel the weight of the unseen wounds. But remember this, in our vulnerability, in our shared experiences, and our collective struggles, there is strength. We may carry the unseen wounds, but we also carry this incredible capacity for grace and compassion, resilience, and healing. It's all a choice. So today, let's talk. Let's share. Let's journey through the darkness together with the hope that even if we can't completely heal our wounds, we can at least start to understand them better. We can learn to stop merely surviving, putting on the makeup and saying, oh, we're good. I'm going to keep overworking. I'm going to turn to substance and it's going to be fine. If I could just numb it, it's going to be A-okay. And let's start moving towards removing the makeup, removing the mask, and starting to heal. And maybe, just maybe, by sharing our stories, by opening up about our struggles, and that we're not just okay all the time. We can be like a small light in the dark for ourselves and for each other. Like when I'm going through my own situation and trying to figure out what are my unseen wounds, like for me to kind of reflect on them, because I understand reflecting on your unseen wounds can be difficult, but it's an important part of my journey and your journey as well. So things I kind of asked myself to help me on that path is like, what experiences in my past still trigger a strong emotional response? I reflect on certain situations in my life that, when you remember, bring up intense emotions such as sadness, anger, fear, and anxiety. And I realize these are indicators of hidden wounds that have yet to be fully healed. I ask myself, how do I react when I'm stressed or under pressure? Because oftentimes our responses to stress and pressures are telltale signs of our unseen wounds. Do you find yourself withdrawing? Do you get angry? Do you feel overwhelmed? Resort to certain behaviors to cope. I know that I have definitely resorted to different behaviors to cope. I've lashed out in the past. And how I react to stress has changed. And I think it's just changed, and it's helped me become more aware of a different unseen wound that I was dealing with that had me resorting to certain types of behaviors. Ask yourself, are there patterns in my relationships and behaviors that I'm not happy with? Repeated patterns, particularly destructive ones, could signal unresolved issues. This could be picking certain types of partners, struggling with boundaries, frequently finding yourself in similar negative situations. I know in the situation of me always wanting to fix things and people at times when I was a fixer. I say I'm a recovering fixer. But like there was certain patterns in relationships that I kept seeing. The type of partners I kept picking, ones that I felt like I had to fix that made me feel better. But when I was able to recognize this pattern was just part of an unseen wound, it helped me begin that healing. And the last question I always ask myself is, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? What am I running from? What is the one thing I'm like, I can't let anyone else know? Our fears often point towards our deepest vulnerabilities, our deepest wounds. Ask yourself, are you afraid of rejection, failure, abandonment? Do you fear being alone, being judged, or not being good enough? These fears are not so subtle hints to our unseen wounds that we carry. Remember that this process can bring up some seriously intense emotions. And I ask and I beg you to please be compassionate with yourself in this process. If any of these questions lead you to places that feel dark and deep that you can't navigate on your own, get help. Talk to a therapist. Talk to someone you trust. You don't have to go through this alone. If feeling that, talking it out with me, sending me a message just so someone else hears you. That's not this unseen. That someone else is here with you in the trenches. I'm here. Send me a DM. Send me a message. Remember that we're in this together. And as we explore these unseen wounds, I hope you remember that your pain is valid. Your pain is valid. Your struggle is real. And your healing journey is important. And you are not alone. And you're worthy of being able to go through this process and heal those wounds. Until next time, keep growing, keep exploring, keep taking mental vacations, and above all, keep loving on yourself because you are hella worthy. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hella Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellawellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hella Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hella Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.